guys, this is John with Get Some Custom Baits. We are here bass fishing again at Mantua Reservoir and hoping to catch some topwater bites on camera for you. It's nothing better than topwater fishing, especially if we can actually get some strikes on camera today. Seems like every time I come here to try this, I turn off the camera just a little bit too soon, and the second I turn off the camera I get a strike. So came here a little while ago and fished these topwater frogs that I make. This color really seems to do well here. It's purple on the top and then kind of a lime green chartreuse on the bottom. I call it Joker. And man, they were just killing it last time. It wasn't the greatest conditions for topwater. Today it's looking really good. It's overcast and I expect it to be really good. There's lots of weeds that we'll be fishing, and this thing fishes very weedless, so it's absolutely perfect for this. So we'll give it a shot. Hey guys, I also wanted to show one other bait that I was going to fish a little bit today. So this is my wake bait. It's a really good topwater bait as well. Had a customer that had purchased some of these from me send me some photos of tiger muskie and other things that he caught on it. So I don't fish these enough. I really should. They have awesome action, and so this one is painted in perch. We're going to give that a shot today too and see how it does. So the way that I approach this is I always fish something like a wake bait or a whopper plopper in the open water. But when I get to a nice patch of weeds where I just feel like if I throw it across this mat, I'm bound to catch a fish, then I'll pull out the frog, because it's obviously way more weedless. You can see it puts out a good little ripple there. I like these frogs because they're relatively buoyant, but depending on the size of the hook, I got like a big old like 5/0 hook on this. It can still sink the bait depending on the size of the hook, but I add a bunch of extra floatant to try to keep it as buoyant as possible. I just can't add too much buoyancy powder to it because it will weaken the plastic, and I want it to be as durable as possible too. Some of these strikes are obviously so vicious that the fish are going to tear your plastic, tear your frog no matter what. Not a whole lot you can do to avoid it, but the plastic is relatively durable. Just a couple of frog tips here. A lot of people don't like fishing frogs because the hookup ratio isn't the greatest. So the last time that I fished these frogs here, I was really fishing whopper ploppers to begin with and wasn't getting a whole lot of bites, so I just kind of grabbed the first rod I could find and tied on a frog. And that rod was absolutely not stiff enough to really get a good hook set with a frog. And so that's my biggest advice, is you have to have like a broomstick for a fishing rod if you want to fish a frog and have any sort of halfway decent hookup ratio with these things. You really have to be able to drive that hook home. The other problem that I had was that when you're fishing these frogs, if your line is not strong enough and you're afraid to set the hook hard enough that you're worried about breaking your line, again your hookup ratio is going to be terrible. I had quite a few strikes before I finally tied it on the correct rod that the fish would take it, swim down into the weeds. I'd do what you're supposed to, pause, don't set the hook until you can feel the pressure, count to 2 or 3, I don't know, and fish definitely had it in its mouth. I set the hook and started reeling in, and like 2 or 3 seconds later the fish would just pop right off. And to me it felt very much like the frog was in its mouth and I was reeling it in. Frog didn't want to let go of it for a few seconds until finally it did, and that's when it just came out of its mouth. The hook never actually penetrated into the fish's mouth, so it was just swimming along with it. And they swim straight down into these weeds once they eat their meal, so if you don't get a good hook set, again, you got no chance in getting that fish to the boat. So most of the time when I catch fish in weed patches like this, it's right on the edge of the patches, but I'm not afraid to throw one right across the top. I have had strikes come from throwing right across the top, the thickest part of these pads. I think it all just depends on the conditions and what kind of mood the fish are in, whether or not... Oh, there was a big bite. Oh my gosh, that was insane. That must have been a little fish. It knocked the frog clear out of the water. So there's one on the wake bait. Just put the frog down for a minute because I was getting to some more open water. And this guy came out and hammered it. Alright, so just a little guy, not huge, nothing to brag about, but he hit it hard. That was fun on the wake bait. First one on that wake bait this year, so nice. There's one on the eel. Had a topwater blow up that missed it, so threw the eel in there. I like this eel. It's just like a 6-inch worm, but it just gives it something that fish don't see every day. Not a huge fish, but it's a fish. Alright, so that one was caught on this eel, as I mentioned. It's kind of a brown green pumpkin with chartreuse kind of mix. And I've got it Nico rigged, so with the nail weight in the nose. And then I've just got the hook rigged kind of a weedless. Comes through the water pretty well without snagging for the most part, so yeah, works out pretty well. Again, just looks like a Senko, but it's got these little fins on it, so that eel just kind of gives it a little different look when fish have had Senkos thrown at them all spring and summer. This just looks a little different, and so they give it a shot. So dang, I wish I had the camera rolling. Caught a nice bass on one of my topwater frogs. Gotta love it. Swing this guy on the boat. Oh, jeez. Oh, yeah. Look at that guy. On the frog. Heck yeah, baby. Oh man, he hit that sucker hard too. Just blew up on it right here in these weeds. It's been a hard day. We've probably caught about 5, but it has been work. This is definitely the best one of the day though. That is a pretty good one. I'm guessing probably 2.5. Yeah, 2.5 pounds probably. Big old fat belly on him. I'm gonna put him on the scale real quick just to see. Alright, 2 pounds 13 ounces. It's actually bigger than I thought. I thought he was gonna be 2.5. He's closer to 3. Not a bad fish for here. Alright, so this is the topwater frog we're going to be using today. It's called an atomic toad. You can see it has a little piece of plastic on the top of its back there so that you can rig it weedless, which is perfect for the conditions we're fishing today because there's weeds everywhere. And on the bottom side it has a hook slot as well. And then it's just got these awesome legs, big meaty portion here, and then kind of works like a paddle tail across the surface. Should definitely entice some bass if they'll hit topwater today. This guy surprised us a little bit. Wish I had more cameras so I could keep him on the water. We got a nice bass on this one. And that was on the whopper flopper style. Oh, yeah, buddy! Look at the size of him, bud! Oh my goodness. My son over here got a little tired of casting, and the second that he put his rod down, we catch that boy. Nice. I mean, for Utah, again, you have to take this with some perspective. For Utah, that's a pretty decent fish. He's probably 2.5 pounds or something like that. But I'll take him, especially on topwater. Topwater, baby.
How many fish am I going to catch?
That's fish number, oh, don't let it, oh. That's fish number 5?
No,
nice.
fish number 4. No, you got to...
Okay, swing it this way slowly so you don't hook me or you. What fish number is this, buddy?
6.
6 now?
Yep.
Let's this is another small one, little 1 pounder or so, but still fun, especially on topwater. This one's not quite as big as the other one, but man, he has a fat belly on him for his length. Awesome! Look at the size of the belly of that fish. Jeez, what are they doing in this lake? All right, what fish number is that? 7. The sun came out, and so now the fish aren't biting as much, but we got some more clouds hopefully rolling in, or the sun going down behind the mountain, and we should be good, huh, buddy? All right, good job. He's got weeds all over him. Well, once again, topwater is producing at Mantua, and this one's a pretty good one, probably 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds, pretty decent for here, so I'm happy. Again, caught it on that wake bait, the black and gold and orange, or the gold digger as I call it. So we'll get back to it, catch some more.